Welcome to episode 0 of the Ctrl+Alt+Narrate podcast. We are your hosts, Momna and Sneesha, and today we're going to get into why we decided to create this podcast and just the overall inspiration, the little nitty-gritty details, and introduce the wonderful team that we work with. So let's begin. Let's start off with introducing ourselves. We are both students at MDM in the MDM program cohort 15.
So, Momna, do you want to go into your background and explain a little bit more about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So I did my undergrad here at TMU, Toronto Metropolitan University, and I majored in Bachelor of Technology in Graphic Communications Management, and I minored in Professional Communications. So I basically did marketing and graphic design related roles, as well as roles within the print management industry before I really shifted into UX and product design. And now currently I'm a part-time instructor or professor at Humber College, and I'm a full-time student here. So it's been quite a journey shifting from different careers. And I really love digital media as a whole. So, you know, the concepts of storytelling and like, there's just so much you can do. And really it's why I'm excited to be part of this podcast because we get the opportunity to narrate and like tell other people's stories.
And you're also such an amazing speaker, so I'm so glad you decided to be a co-host. And
Thank you.
I can accompany her because I cannot speak alone.
No, I'm so happy that you actually asked me to be your co-host. I was actually surprised, but at first because I was like, wait a second. But it's really been a fun process just building this out with you. And honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way.
Oh, thank you.
Honestly, really happy to be here. But why don't you tell everybody about you?
I hate this question. So in interviews, by the way, if I'm ever asked this, I will be linking this podcast so I never have to answer it again because this question just brings up so much nervousness, but we're going to try our best today. So I did my undergrad in human behavior at McMaster University. I think it was applied science bachelor's as well. And I genuinely have been enjoying the Masters of Digital Media program that we're in right now because it's allowed me to dip my toes into a bunch of different projects and then also interests. I find that I can't really box myself into one kind of field. I grew up wanting to change my career every 2 months, and it was super exhausting for my family to witness that. So I do apologize, but they are the most supportive people that I know, and they've always supported my wishes and dreams and tried to help me progress through whatever obstacles that came my way. And I think I genuinely just love going and working on projects that speak to me. I don't know what it is, but especially with this whole podcast thing, it started off as a very random one-time joke that I put out into the world. And then I realized that all my friends that I've made up to this point all have specific talents that could make this entire podcast become a reality. So really grateful for that. And yeah, I feel like I'm the type of person that can come up with the ideas behind the project rather than the skills to execute it. So I've realized that maybe creative direction might be a good pathway to me. So I'm going to explore that a bit more and hopefully it goes in a great way. But yeah.
Honestly, manifesting that for you.
Thank you.
I definitely think that's possible. And like going further into like, you know, why you wanted to create a podcast, why did you want to make one now?
Honestly, like I said, it really started off as a joke, but I think I just wanted to give these amazing people in our program a voice and to express themselves and say things that won't naturally come out in, for example, an interview space, because it's really hard when you put yourself on the spot and you're like, what makes me great? What makes me capable of doing all these things? It comes out in naturally friendly conversations, and that's the kind of environment that I wanted to foster alongside what our program brings up from people here. Okay. So tell everyone that's watching, why podcast and why now?
So this podcast was Sneesha's idea, and she initially pitched this idea in November, really casually, and she's like, yeah, I'd love to have a podcast. And I remember being there with our members of our current team, and we're like, yeah, why not, right? And she would have really deep, reflective conversations with me and our team, who are also our friends, whether it was after class, during class, or just even in between classes. And we realized how meaningful and honestly therapeutic it was to have those conversations. So we really thought, like, why not create a space where, that kind of vulnerability, insight, and randomness can like live permanently. And also, like, while we're in the MDM program, like, everyone's going through like a growth phase, whether it's like emotionally, creatively, professionally, all of the above. And I think it's like a perfect space to capture all that, where, we're pausing the chaos for a second of all the things that are going on behind the scenes and just showing everybody and saying, like, look how far we've come and let's talk about it.
Right. So we can go in a bit about what podcasts we took inspiration from and how they influenced ours. I will be the first to say I'm a huge fan of Trevor Noah and his podcast, What Now? I absolutely love the elements and what he talks about and just the whole vibe of it, because it's very conversational. People are allowed to make mistakes. They're allowed to be fully themselves. He invites people of all different opinions and backgrounds, and that's what I kind of hope to achieve here. I like how it's introspective and insightful and also comedic. We have a lot of laughs and giggles going on around here, so hopefully that can continue and happen throughout the podcast. But yeah.
I was going to say, like, I like the Two Hot Takes podcast because it's a very casual conversation between friends. It's very lighthearted. You enjoy like the topics of conversation. And I really feel like that is a vibe that we wanted to emulate in the podcast as well. Like, talking about, like, of course, specific serious topics within the digital media space and with our guests and, their personal lives, but also really just casual and lighthearted and really just easygoing.
So in regards to what we see this podcast being and growing into, I see this growing into like a digital permanent memory box, if that makes sense. I want it to be a reminder of our accomplishments and struggles and growth and lessons. And I'd love to have our guests look back on this as a reminder of how far they've come and be proud of all they've achieved. And I see so much spark potential in our guests that come by and everyone in our program. And they're so inspirational in their efforts. And I have a lot to learn from everyone that I've met here. And they deserve to be shared with the world,
100%.
Okay, so what kind of guests are we going to have?
Well, ultimately, we would love to have guests from our MDM program and a few professors who have really inspired us throughout our journey while being in the program. So ideally, all of our classmates.
Yeah, please come on. Hopefully you feel more comfortable coming on after you see a couple episodes, but
reply to my messages.
Check your inboxes and check your Discord, and Jeff. And Diana and Chris, we're coming after you. Okay, so now we want to take some time to introduce our absolutely lovely, amazing crew. Do you want to start us off?
Well, shout out to our charming producer, Alicia, who really helps run the show and cues me when I'm talking too much about random things. Really brings me back into reality. She very much grounds me as a person.
Oh, yeah. She's great at that.
100%.
And the ever-talented AV and music team, we have Hannah and Aiden behind the scenes with very wholesome smiles and dances.
You can't see them right now, but they are dancing.
I know. They are amazing.
We have our incredibly talented and visionary set designer, Victoria. If you are watching this on YouTube or if you see this on Instagram, you'll see the background.
Yeah, amazing. This decor art.
Big Smisky fan.
Yeah. I would have messed that up too. I didn't know how to pronounce it the first couple of times I've heard it, and I'm like, Smisky. Got it. Okay.
Right.
But yeah, the wonderfully dedicated social media team, we have Eileen and Emily. We're so grateful to have their support, and everyone is not being paid. So the fact that they're putting in so much effort to help us means the world to me.
We also have our very gifted, talented branding and graphic designer, Irina.
She did amazing. I absolutely can't wait for everyone to see our logos and shirts and any possible merch that we come out with.
Honestly, when she locks in, she just produces like the most insane. I'm like, why does your brain work like that? How does your brain work like that? Like, teach me, please.
And lastly, my amazingly passionate co-host. I'm so grateful to have you on here.
Oh, thank you. That was my line.
Well, I stole it, then I said it first. But I genuinely appreciate you being here. And also, speaking alone and interviewing people is really nerve-wracking. And I've mentioned this to everybody here. I have lots of stage fright. And having someone that knows the experience and what we're going through makes this experience a lot more comfortable.
I'm kidding.
I mean, we're experiencing it together for the first time, and
It's really fun though.
Yeah, we're being nervous and yapping off each other's points. It's great.
Well, special appreciation moment for the founding co-host, the founding member, the CEO of the Ctrl+Alt+Narrate podcast.
I would not say CEO. I'll take creative director. No, I'm kidding.
Why not?
I genuinely could not have done this without anyone here. Like, everyone has put in their own talents and brought in such valuable experience. And I really did mean this as a joke. Like, this was not supposed to be happening. And everyone's like, no, you should do it. This is going to be great. And I think it will be.
100%. I just want to slip in there that one time she accidentally called it the podcast. I promised I wasn't going to bring it up, but I decided to because I was like, you know what?
Did promise me that.
Ugh. Sorry, but I broke the promise.
It's okay. I guess it's going to... No, we joked about having it on our merch, having like podcast on the sleeve. Listen, this is what happens when I get too excited. I just ramble on and then I mess up my words, but...
Yeah.
Everyone understood. That's the great part. Everyone knew what I was trying to say. So
it was a really funny moment though. Like, I was in tears by the end of it.
It was
you're just like, wait a second.
Yeah. And mind you, I fully said the word podcast and I continued speaking as if that was a normal thing to say in a conversation with confidence. It was so embarrassing, but you know.
It's okay. If we ever decide to change the name, that's going to be like my number one pick.
Gosh. No, we have to keep we have a good background story about how she came to the name after, but definitely something we want to cover because absolute brilliance. I love the name.
Thank you.
Okay, so what aspect of this podcast do we want to bring that others don't, and what kind of niche perspectives do we want to have?
I will say maybe you should start off with that one.
Fair, because it does say that in my notes, and I totally got nervous and messed that up, but
here we are. Don't worry.
So a lot of podcasts focus on success stories after the fact, but we wanted to create a space that captures people in the middle of their journeys, and while they're still figuring things out and growing and doubting, experimenting, failing, and finding their spark again.
Yeah. And also, like, our niche is like that raw in between space that often really gets skipped over.
Yeah.
And the MDM program is full of like fun, brilliant, talented people from like all over the world. And they're all doing different things. Like, everyone is so diverse. Like, when I first entered the program, I was like, whoa, like, so many different skill sets, so many different backgrounds. It was like just really refreshing to see that. And I really think that, like, you know, no one really sees like the real-time processes behind it.
Yeah.
And we need to shine a light on that.
I agree. And plus, we're not just documenting people's projects, we're diving into the behind the scenes of what it means to be a digital media creator or worker today. And we talk about emerging trends and creative burnout, which I personally and you have experienced so much. And navigating the imposter syndrome, something we talked about earlier, finding your voice and what it really takes to collaborate across different disciplines and cultures.
It's also not just like about like the tech or the tools. It's really like about the people behind the work, like their life mottos, their identities, the 3 a.m. like design breakdowns, like the unexpected breakthroughs, and how like they're really shaping the future of media while they're still figuring things out. And I think that's our thing.
Yeah. Don't even get me started on 3 a.m. breakdowns because we were doing our interaction design Figma prototypes and I did not know how to use the save button. So I lost my entire process, my entire file.
Oh my God.
Just a couple days before the project was due. And yeah, I had my boyfriend help me figure it out from the ground up. And thank you to him if he's watching. He's probably watching, but
number one fan.
Honestly, number one fan. Super grateful to have him around. But yeah, honestly, find you someone that sits through your mess like that because that was honestly so stressful. It was one of the first terms. It was the first term that we were here, and to lose that amount of progress. That was terrifying.
I would crash out.
I did crash out. Oh, I crashed out. I was the definition of crashing out.
Hey, but you got it done.
I
And
did.
You succeeded and you got your great mark.
Yeah. I love getting a good GPA when I can. I'll take
right?
it. Yeah. So who is this for? And what do we hope that people take away from this?
Well, you tell me. I'm kidding.
No, you're so right. This is for anyone who's ever wondered if they're on the right path or who's just looking for a reminder that they're not alone in figuring things out. It's especially for our Master of Digital Media community and other creatives who are navigating big transitions, whether it's school, career, or personal growth.
And we hope that people like walk away from each episode like feeling a little more seen, inspired, and grounded, and thinking like, hey, I'm really not the only one that feels this way, or like, you know what, that perspective really opened up something for me.
Right. And at the very least, we hope it brings a smile on everyone who watches, or a spark of curiosity and something that sticks with you in the long term. So we have a sneak peek of our first guest, but no spoilers for what the content is about.
I think we should tell them. We should tell them.
Are you sure?
I think we should.
Okay, I guess we will. We're going to have our visionary Victoria, who is our set designer, as our first ever episode. And fun fact, she's also the first person that I met in this program. And you'll hear more about that when we have our first episode.
Can't wait to... Can't wait.
Can't wait to find the next thought that I'm going to speak out loud.
Can't wait to Error 404. She's crushed.
That should be one of our segments, Error 404. That's genius. You just have random like snippets that I'm just like,
Thank you.
Yeah, we're going to have, that's going to happen. We're going to bring it in after.
Eventually. But I can't wait for that episode to like be put out. And, she's definitely someone that, also, I didn't know that she majored in...
interior design?
Yeah. When she said that, I was like, wait a second.
I know.
I'm like, I really don't know.
No, just
she's a twin.
Yeah. And crazy. Also, I visited her apartment. Amazing. It looks gorgeous. And it's so cozy. Like, that's exactly how I'd want my apartment looking in the future. She has, like, little skis all over.
She can't invite me over because I'll steal one.
Oh, I thought about it, but I was like, we're friends. We got to play it slick, but I'll tell her to give me one next birthday, right? I'll just be like, Christmas gift or birthday gift. But yeah. So before we go, do you want to talk about how it all came to be?
Yeah.
I'll start us off. This name was actually fully Momna's idea, and Ctrl+Alt+Narrate came from us nerding out over the classic keyboard shortcut, Ctrl+Alt+Delete, which is like the reset button, and we thought that what if instead of deleting or rebooting, we narrate? And our program is all about the beauty of storytelling, and that's where we gained our inspiration.
So in a class that we took, our professor really focused on how information digests better when you structure things in a way that represents telling a story. Shout out to Diana for that.
Diana, we love Diana.
Love you, Diana.
She's sorry.
When choosing the name, it was really a twist on that moment where everything's overwhelming and you just want to hit restart or start again. But instead, we're choosing to pause and tell the story because it's really about reflecting, reframing, and giving ourselves space to speak honestly about what's happening creatively, personally, emotionally, and honestly, the name just sounds cool. So
I agree. Who can debate that? So where can you find us?
You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn. Our episodes will be available on Spotify and YouTube as well.
Thank you for listening. And we really, really hope that everyone tunes in and enjoys because we have a lot of amazing stories to tell. And we have an amazing crew that deserves so much effort and applause. Applause for everything that they've done. I'm checked out for today, but thank you so much once again. And this is my amazing and fabulous co-host, Mona.